Hey Stampers, it's Meg from LovenStamps and welcome to a wonderful Wednesday edition of Maker Mornings with Meg. So today we are going to kick off the month of September. I know, like, how can it be September already? But we're going to kick off the month of September with a really great project using the Nature's Harvest stamp set and the coordinating dies, which are around because I've got them all out for her project. This set is terrific. It matches a really gorgeous suite that includes designer series paper. Here are a handful of the patterns, I guess. Bright on one side, sort of subdued neutrals, blues, and browns on the other side. It includes the Cork specialty paper, the fun diamond weave ribbon, metallic dots, like lots of great pieces in this. So I'm going to actually feature Nature's Harvest for my LovenStamps projects for the month of September, which we're currently already in, which is great because if you order anything from my online store this month, you're going to get a PDF. Thank you for me that includes directions for this plus 3 other projects with pictures and everything, easy to print at home, have cutting sizes and so forth. So, and it's like a free class because you can watch the tutorials here on Maker Mornings with Meg. And if you aren't one of my customers, you're welcome to be always. The link is in the video description for shopping. Otherwise, you can of course watch the videos and have access there. So. And also an Etsy store coming soon. So that was my little sneak peek announcement there. All right, so our project is actually part of a throwback to something that we did many, many years ago at a Stampin' Up convention, which is kind of timely because registration opened yesterday for the next Stampin' Up convention. But it is a really cool memory book and it has these folding pages inside it. This is one that I made for my dad, I think. It opens this way, and then there's pages there, and then pages there, and then pages there. So lots of really cool possibilities for decorating, especially when you have a really great suite of projects, or products to use. So I'm gonna refresh that project design for our Nature's Harvest version and give you guys some directions. You ready to get started? All right. I will also have a blog post with some directions on it for getting the cutting sizes and so forth for this project. So you can check on that later today if you are interested in having that. So, all right, you guys ready? So we're starting off here with a piece of, well, 2 pieces of designer series paper is kind of what you're gonna need to start with this, really 1.5, I guess. So I have one that is going to be the spine of our book, and this is cut to 6 by 12, so simple cutting. And then this one is going to be the inside of our book, where you're gonna put your pictures and stuff. And this one is cut to 10 by 10. Okay, so you're gonna end up with some trim pieces that you can use in your decor, little sneak peeks of decor there. But let me give you some scoring directions. I like to use my trimmer for this because there's a combination of cutting and scoring. And I find that when I want to cut and score on the same page, it's easier to use my trimmer because everything's all lined up. I don't have to realign things. So scoring for this part. And it's really easy. You don't have to think too hard. You don't even have to really remember anything. So, except that you're gonna want this folded in half with a little spine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna score not in the middle, but I'm gonna score an 1/8 inch to the right of the middle and an 1/8 inch to the left. So I'm measuring here, and let's see, I think I have to open this up. There is a fly. My dog is attacking a fly on the patio door, so you hear weird sounds. So I have 6 inches. I'm gonna move this over to 1/6 and an 1/8. And go ahead and score. And my trimmer blade, woo, just like flew out of the track. Hold on while I fetch that. Good thing the dog's not quick to get those. Okay, so I'm just gonna open that up a little. There we go. I thought it wasn't tracking very well. Okay, there we go. So an 1/8 inch to the one side, and then I'm gonna go back to 6 and go an 1/8 inch to the other side. And now I have a book cover with a 1/4 inch spine at the top. Okay, really simple. Like I said, you don't have to work too hard at this. Now, for our internal panel, what I want to do, if you have a part that you want to show, let's see. So actually it's gonna be in like this. So let's see. Okay, so it's gonna be in like this and it's gonna fold across like this. So I'm trying to decide if I want it to be the coral or the, I think I want it to be this way. So it's gonna be like this when it's all open. So your cut line is gonna be, oh, sorry guys. Your cut line is gonna be this part right here. We're gonna score it in half, both directions, but we're gonna cut on one of those. And this one right here to the, towards the cover side, the front cover side is what you're going to cut. So, all right, so I'm gonna start here with my scoring blade and I'm gonna score at 5 inches, so that's all the way. Then I'm gonna turn it. Remember, this is where I'm gonna cut so that my pattern goes the direction I want. And I know, and you guys cannot see it at all, but I can feel and I can see that score line. So I'm gonna go ahead and score to the center, and then check this out. I can just bring in, without moving anything, my cutting blade and cut right to the score. There's a little line right there that lets you line it up so that when I take it off, then I have my perfectly cut and scored piece. So this is gonna go in here like this. And let me show you how you're gonna fold it. The first fold is to fold in, the second fold is to fold down, and your third fold is going to come across the front like this. Now, on my sample, I have a piece here. I really like to mat this because it helps to dress up this inside portion. So let's go ahead and put this down. So I have my square of designer or square cardstock, and this cardstock piece that I'm using is Calypso Coral, and it is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So again, if you want like an easy printable PDF, you can get that as a thank you for ordering this month. And then I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in here, or check my blog post later because I'm gonna have that available for Etsy purchase also. Okay, so I'm gonna slide this in here and center it as we go. Okay, so this is the main part of our album. I'm gonna give you a bunch of tips for putting the decorations in here, so hang tight for that. But let's go back to the front and talk about this spine of our album, because one of the greatest things in the suite of is the designer series, or the Cork specialty paper, which I adore. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of position this here a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on both the left and the right long edges of this, but not so much in the middle. And that's because of the way sort of book bindings work. Now I also like to use my grid paper. So I've lined this up along the top edge. I am going to line this up. You can also use the design of your paper. And now I know that I've got this straight along that grid line paper too. So I'm adhered here, and then I can just take this and I'm just gonna kind of squeeze it around and just sort of bend with my fingers to wrap that. So I'm not gonna worry about scoring the cork paper. I don't wanna injure it. And honestly, it's nice and sturdy, and it gives a really cool cork binding to our project. So you could actually do this with a card too. It would make for a really cute card where you had just the regular card and then you did a little cork binding for it. So I'm in love with cork specialty paper. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so what to put on the front of this fabulous album to make the most of nature's harvest? Well, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of the Stitch So Sweetly dies and all these darling scalloped rectangles. So the largest scalloped rectangle is not that one, wherever, oh, there it is. The largest scalloped rectangle is what I'm going to use for our cover here. And this is going to go on the front like this, but we need to do some stamping on here. Teresa says she has the grandkids, so early has its. Yay, I'm glad you could watch live too. So I'm gonna bring in this larger stamp here with these flowers on it, and go ahead stamp this a couple times here on the front of our paper. So we're gonna do some kind of pretty layered things. And so the first one is gonna go up here, and then the second one is gonna go down here. I like to vary the height of images a little bit, especially when you're repeating the same distinctive image, so that it's not so much like shoulders lined up in a row. It's a little bit more like free form. So, okay. So this is gonna go on here. But we're gonna add some extra elements to that. And one of the things I love about this set are the fabulous dies. There's actually 2 whole pages of dies. I have these off already. 2 whole pages of dies. And so you can mix and match these. This one happens to match this big flower that we've stamped. We're not gonna die cut that one today. We're gonna use this one. So I'll pull this one aside. Lots of good greeting shapes. But I want to use this one here to make an embellishment, and I want to bring out the yellows from the paper. So I actually have a piece of designer series paper from the suite that I've cut, and this is going to layer kind of to the side just like that. Okay. Now for more color on the front, I really want to have a nice orange punch that's going to go with the inside of our project. So this one I've die cut. Now you'll notice that this one is a big open shape, but it doesn't match a stamp set or a stamp. That's because it's meant to be an accessory image. And I love this with blending brushes. So blending brushes are available. You can order them, they'll ship now. They have been on back order on and off since they came out because they're so amazingly popular. And this last weekend, Stampin' Up! Had a leadership event, and I think they said blending brushes were one of the most popular accessory items. So speaking of back ordered, the what are these called? So I can tell you. The harvest dies. These are on back order until September 13th. So it is September. That's going to be here before I know it. I would highly recommend not waiting. Just go ahead and get those. All right. So blending brushes, picking up ink by brushing my blending brush across the top of my ink pad. And then I am coloring our stem here. Now, if you wanted to do some cool techniques, you can also do some shadowing here. I just did this recently on a card where I used the background, the negative space of a die instead of, those were the celebration dies, instead of the positive image, which is a great technique. Anyway, I'm gonna bring in Bumblebee here, but we're just using the front for now. I don't know, I might have to do that for something else though. Okay, and you'll notice that the more color you put on with this circular motion, the more burnished it gets and the more deep it gets. And you can kind of see already how pretty that super deep color is. And then I'm gonna go back with my last one and grab Cajun Craze, which is a great fit for this paper too. And I'm going to add it here in the middle. I'm not gonna worry too much about overlapping with the top of my flower or not. And I love the way that ink just gets deeper and deeper. So keep adding until you are happy with the effect. And I also love the way the edges of the paper pick up more ink. So you can see that it's just a little darker there along the edges. Now, if you have inky fingers like me after doing this, then the best thing to do is grab your chamois and just run your fingers across the edges because it will really magnet that ink off of your hands. So, all right, cool. We doing okay so far? All right, it really comes together pretty quickly. It's not a difficult project. I am gonna go ahead and stick this down, and you'll notice that I'm using Seal Plus for attaching all these layers. You could also use the multi-purpose liquid glue, which you know is my other favorite. But I'm using Seal Plus because this is something that is going to be around. This one that I showed you at the beginning with our photos in it has been on my parents' coffee table for probably the last, I should have dated it when I signed it, but I didn't. I don't know, at least the last, I guess I can see when the pictures are from. Little kid pictures, I'm gonna estimate that it's been on their table for at least 8 years. So anyway, use your strong adhesive because you want it to stick around, okay? All right, so this is going to layer across here, and I'm gonna use my multi-purpose liquid glue for this. I've got these two kind of overlapped in a way that I like, and I'm gonna pop some glue in the back. If you squeeze and no glue comes out, remember to just tap it down so that you get the glue to the top where you want it. And if you haven't already figured it out, this glue is really my super happy place glue. If you can see the glue, it is enough. You don't have to glab it on there. And let's see if I can get these on without shifting them too much. Okay, pretty good. All right, now it doesn't dry instantly, it doesn't grab instantly. So you do often want to just take an extra block or two and set it down on your project to give it a chance to dry. So now we want to bring in some of this gorgeous ribbon. I thought about wrapping all the way around, but the paper's not super strong and I didn't want to push on the edges. So instead, we're just gonna go with a real simple embellishment. I'm just gonna tie a little half knot so that we have this little half knot shape, which gives us the touch of ribbon without having to like worry about binding something. And then I'll show you how I'm gonna attach this here because I honestly, it's tricky to attach an open weave ribbon like this because you don't want to use glue because it'll go through. So my solutions are tear tape or Seal Plus. And rather than trying to get the Seal Plus to stick on the ribbon, I'm just putting it right there on the page. This ribbon's wide enough that it will cover up all that adhesive with no problem and stick really well. I'm really fond of this Seal Plus. It's just been out for what, a year and a half, I guess. So big fan. Okay, so now for the front of our album, you will want to add some kind of, actually you don't have to add any greeting, but I kind of wanted to add a greeting to this one. So I've got a piece of vanilla and we're going to go ahead and pop this one on here. And I have one of the images from here actually says thank you. And it's gonna go really well with an inside image that we're going to stamp. So I'm gonna use thank you and grab a block here. Remember, you always want to, you don't want to stick your stamps down to mount them. You always want to just set them down and then pick them up with a block so that they're in their natural state. You don't get like weird twisting and things like that. Then if you are using your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I always like to put my die on, get it centered, and then pop a piece of washi tape across. And I actually just keep reusing that washi tape so that it's always, like I just stick it to the top of my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then it's always there because it means that the die will always stay where I want it to, and I don't have to worry about a magnet making things jump or stuff like that. So I'll put this back on my machine. All right, and then we are sticking with a flat theme. So in case this goes in a purse as like a little show-off book or something, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the greeting on flat. Okay, always dangerous to smush from the front, flip it to the back, smush from the back side. Okay, we don't wanna smear any ink. So there's the front of our book. It clearly also needs some embellishments, which are going to be also from this super fabulous suite, the brushed metallic dots. Hey Dawn, thanks for sharing. Okay, so we'll use our take your pick tool and do the slide and stick routine here. So I'm gonna just slide with the putty end that across and then stick it down where I want it. Slide and stick. And I'm using, we'll go up here. I'm using the sort of, what is that color? This is copper, this is gold. Pewter, it's not pewter. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Antique brass. Whew. Okay, we're on it. It's Wednesday, we're halfway through the week. Okay, so there is the front of our album. And then let me talk to you about decorating the inside. So on this super old one here, with these like ribbon accents and things, there are all these panels and you can decorate them with contrasting cardstock. You can put little embellishments on them. Ours is made out of designer series paper, so you have a little bit more flexibility because you have a lot of design already. So I'll show you some ideas. Keep in mind that your pictures can be tiny. These are only like an inch or something, inch and a half, or you can make your pictures, you get a couple, like a front, you can put a whole 4x6 on there almost. So lots of possibilities. So let's come back to the inside of our book. These are our two sort of, we'll call them our front pages. So we're gonna have sort of the most decor here. And I'm going to start by stamping here. Now you could stamp first and then assemble, which in some ways is very smart. But I'll show you how to get around that if you didn't. So let's see, I'm gonna take a piece of scrap paper from my trash bin. You can see what I was working on the other day. This is a celebration set, by the way. So, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my early espresso pad and I'm going to ink this up and stamp this one just down here at the bottom, but I've put this paper under because I don't want to stamp through to the background. So, all right, there's our flowers. Super dangerous to be stamping last, but if it's terribly disfigured, you could always put a layer across there. Oh, and I wanted to show you a different possibility for this album using one of the celebration choices. So this is the Celebration Beautifully Penned paper, and it actually makes a really gorgeous album for this style too. So, you know, any designer series paper would be great for this. And you get to see both sides, which is always a big hit for me. Okay, so we have this here. I want to add a greeting across here that is this one, which says, a reminder to never forget how much you mean to me and so many others, which goes great with the thank you. This would be a great like teacher gift, for a bus driver, for a family member, you know, all kinds of things, retirement, graduation, anything, where you just want people to know how much they're appreciated. So I'm gonna grab this and a piece of very vanilla cardstock, which is the neutral that I'm choosing for this project. And I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this on here like so. Okay, note to self, do not stamp on here because there are a zillion layers under there. Let's try that again. So I'm gonna stamp this on here. There we go. And it's pretty straight, but not great straight, which is one of the things that's terrific about the trimmer. So I can pop this on here, and rather than lining up like against the edge here, I'm actually gonna line up so that my words are in line here, you can see, with the ruler-y part here. So now I know that I'm gonna end up with a nice straight greeting here, a little more space. Let's see, so now I'm lining up again here with the words. I'll cut there, and then I'm gonna give it a banner end here, so I'm gonna trim it off like that. So then you have a nice straight element to add to your little project here. So, okay, so this coming back in is gonna go right across the bottom, and kind of have the dropsies this morning. That one didn't make it quite to the ground. You guys ever have days like that where you're just dropping things? Oh, actually, like the hive mind, I wanted to ask if anyone has any brilliant ideas for getting like stink out of cars. My chicken leaked in the car the other day, like in the back of my van, and it's really stinky. So I've got like baking soda paste on it, but I don't know, I'm gonna have to do something else, maybe car shampoo. Anyway, so if you have any brilliant ideas for getting smells out of the carpet upholstery of your car, let me know. So then we have our greeting on here, but on this side, I want to have something kind of special. And I don't have my pictures printed for this yet, so I want to be flexible and be able to include lots of choices. Oh, Sue says she likes the black and white paper. Yes, the black and white paper, you could print black and white pictures, but you could also do color pictures and they would really pop. So I'm going to bring in another one of these elements here from earlier, the Stitch So Sweetly rectangle, and I'm going to pop this on here like so, and then I'm going to go ahead and add an embellishment to this, and I decided to use one of my die cuts, and instead of die cutting paper, I die cut the cork sheets. So we'll pull this one out of here gently, okay. And I'm sure you can guess what kind of glue I'm going to use to attach this. So there's the back side, there's the front side. Isn't that gorgeous? I am super loving this. Hey Carol, welcome late. Ooh, candy tomatoes. Sounds like fun. Our dog ate most of the tomatoes from our tomato bush this year. She has access to them in the yard and she helped herself liberally. So no canning for me. All right, so I'm gonna pop some multi-purpose liquid glue here on the back and add this. And then I'm gonna show you how I decorated the other pages. So sometimes it's nice to have little books like this, little albums made up so that when you suddenly realize like a special birthday's coming or Mother's Day or Father's Day or something, then you have them on hand and all you have to do is print some recent pictures to add to those to make them special. Okay, so I'm gonna stick this in here and set these down with some blocks so that it does a good job grabbing. And then I really have no worries about that coming off. The glue is outstanding. Okay, so we have these other pages here, and the question is about how to decorate them when you're not sure what to do. So in the Stitch So Sweetly dies, there are all of these fun little rectangles, okay? You get a lot of different shapes, or sorry, same shape, a lot of different sizes is what I meant to say. And the sizes can be used for different elements. So here's my solution for the inside. What I did was I cut 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I cut 4 of those rectangles. And on some of them, I put little stamped bonus there from the Nature's Harvest stamp set. So you can add the little elements there. And then some of them I just left blank. And so when I'm putting a picture on, you know, I can pop my picture over the edge. I could write a little, you know, note on there. It gives me a lot of flexibility, okay? And then you can write greetings and so forth, or you could even add extra cardstock squares in there to give yourself a writing surface or something like that. So there's 2 different sort of color scheme examples of how this book goes together. So, all right, when you're getting ready to close it, you're gonna close 1, 2, 3, and then the cover of your book, just like that. All right, so Gladys says she loves it and Solve's desire to create special cards for her family. Yes, absolutely. This is a great, like I said, it's a great family thing. You would want to, protect this in a mailer of some kind with a little, extra bubble wrap or something, especially if you put the dots on it. Or you could present them in person, and just a really outstanding idea for kind of a special memory book. And when you work with the Stampin' Up! Suites, you know that you're going to have all the pieces that you need to mix and match. You could do this for any of the suites. They would make great Christmas cards. But like I said, the suite that I'm focusing on for this month, so you'll see a few more projects with me, is this gorgeous Harvest Meadow suite. So this stamp set is terrific. You can order the stamps and the dies together with a 10% discount. And even though the dies are on back order till September 13th, your other stuff will ship right away. You won't have to wait. And then you can make fun things like this. So this is the Blackberry Beauty Designer Series paper. And this is a card that I showed that kind of exploded with popularity. So other kinds of things with the same stamp set. So you can change out the colors, pick something that you really love. But it is a really outstanding stamp set with coordinating dies and lots of good possibilities. So, all right. Yeah, you guys are welcome. Glad you guys like this. Let's see. Somebody said something about their dog and cucumbers. Oh, Carol said her German Shepherd eats the cucumbers from the garden all himself. Yeah, they do that, right? I suppose they're good things, right? Everybody says we should eat more vegetables. So good job for those puppers for doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, all right. I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. Enjoy your day, and hope you have some time to get some crafting in. And then keep in mind that I will be posting, well, there's a link in the video description. You can find it if you click that little down caret on YouTube, or click in the description part if you're watching on Facebook. Link in the video description for supplies and an easy shopping list. So one click there. And then later this month, you'll be able to click over and get the information on this whole suite of projects, suite of products and projects that I'll be sharing as my LovenStamps monthly tutorials for the month of September. So, all right, guys, have a super fabulous day, and I will see you again on Friday morning for more stamping. So thanks for watching, and have a great day. Happy stamping.